Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gauda Padam Mahantam Vindayogindra Matasya Shishyam Sri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam Chahastamalakam Chashishyam Tam Todakam Vartika Manyan Asmadgurun Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kridau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sarvam Namaste Shankarananda Guru Padambujanmane Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grasaika Karmane. The Shunyavadin had said that because we are not seeing anything else, Anyasya Anupalabdhatvat Shunyam Madhyamika Jaguhu. Madhyamika Buddhists state that other than the Vijnanamaya Kosha, we do not say anything else. Therefore, there is Shunyam. And he quotes it also from Chandogya Upanishad, Asadeva idamagre asid, out of context. In the sense, why it is out of context? In the context of saying, Sadeva Saumya idamagra asid, Sad alone was there. If you think or if you say anything else was there, Asadeva idamagre asid. There was only Asad, non-existence, because the origin of everything is existence. If you think anything else was there, it's only non-existence. But out of context, he says, see, Upanishad says, Asadeva ikradagre asid. But taking Asad as, that is absence. So absence was there. So therefore, Shunyatvam Atma iti viduhu madhyamikaha bauddhaha. So then, that is also refuted to say that Niradashtana Vibhrantehe Abhavat. Vibhrantaha Niradishtane Abhavat. Adishtanam vina Bhrantihi api na sambhavati. Sarpadarshanartam Avashyakam Rajjuhu Without the rope, how will you project the form of snake? And in that rajju or the rope, you will not project elephant. So that means the adhisthana has certain characteristics, and that alone is seen in the adhyasitam. Whatever is superimposed must have the characteristics of closer to the adhisthana. When you are saying that the Vijnanamaya kosha, other than that, there is nothing else. So adhisthana for that must be there for you to understand even Vijnanamaya kosha with its Shanikam. The point is what? Shanikam Vijnanamaya kosha. If a Shanika Vijnanamaya kosha has to be there, for that there should be an adhisthana without which, because what this Shunya margin says, you are thinking that Vijnanamaya kosha itself is a Bhranti, because there is Shunyam only. Shunyam Atma Tasmin Bhrantihi. Even this Bhranti will not take place unless there is adhisthana. So here, even that, Vidhiradhisthana vibhrante abhava atmanaha astita. Therefore, there must be something which is supporting even the projection of the idea of the Vijnanamaya kosha. Or even if you say it is Shunyam, even for Shunyam, since Shunyam also must have some adhisthana for that. So, Shunyasyapi sasakshitvat. Even there are 2 points here as we saw last time. If it is kshanikam, there is adhisthana chahiye. If you say shunya, then there should be sakshi. So both of them are refuted here. For the one who says momentary consciousness, for that there should be a adhisthana. If you say it is shunyameva atma, then there should be a sakshi, perceiver, witness to that vritti also. Because idam shunyam idi vritti. It is there as a thought. This is shunyam. Vritti, dat vrittehe sakshihi kaha. Who is the sakshi? Who is the witness? Who knows that thought of shunya? Therefore, atmanaha astita. Therefore, there is astitva of Atman. Atman here does not mean he doesn't explain what that is, but there is something which we refer as Atman is there. So, anyata na uktihi asyate. Otherwise, you better keep quiet. Na uktihi asya. Te na uktihi. For you, there is nothing to say asya about this matter. Asya uktiha na te. And there is nothing that you can say about it, because if you say, both the way it is refuted, that's what it means. So then there's no way you can argue further. If it is about shunyam, then there should be a sakshi. If you say it is a shanikam, then there should be a adhisthana. So this way, the refutation, or it has been refuted. Now another guy comes and says, there is what is called Anandamaya kosha. इसके बारे में आप नहीं सोचे. तो विज्ञान में के deeper than that, there is one more, which is called Anandamaya kosha. So what is that Anandamaya kosha? How is that taken into consideration here? Anyo vijnanamayataha Anandamaya antaraha अस्तित्येवोपलब्धव्यः इति वैदिकदर्शनम्. अन्यो विज्ञानमयतः आनन्दमय आन्तरः अस्तित्येवोपलब्धव्यः इति वैदिकदर्शनम्. Vijnanamayatah, than the Vijnanamaya, Anyaha, other, Anandamayaha Antaraha. Antaraha means it is subtler than that. It is Atma of the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Anyontara Atma Anandamayaha. Having explained in Taittiriya Upanishad up to Vijnanamaya, then he says Anyontara Atma Anandamayaha. It is said there in the Taittiriya Upanishad. That's what he quotes. So there is Anandamaya Kosha, which is there. Okay, I may not be one who would accept there is Shunyam. Of course, that is you refuted. And there is no Kshanikatva of the Buddhi without a Adhishtan. So what is Adhishtan for a Kshanika Buddhi? Anandamaya Kosha. So Anandamaya Kosha Atma iti katyate. So these persons, they are called Nayayikas. They put the Nyaya there. So, and also they quote the Shruti. What? Asti Tyeva Upalabdhavyaha. Upalabdhavyaha, meaning it is subject to be experienced. Upalabdhavyaha, available. So, if other than the Vijnanamaya Kosha, whatever is available for us to experience, I understand that to be only Anandamaya Kosha. And what is the nature of Anandamaya Kosha? Three things. Priya, Moda, Pramoda. What we call it as Anandam is of the three types. Priya, Moda, Pramoda, Atmakatvat. Anandamaya Kosha, Anandamaya. Now, you see, when what is Priya, Moda, Pramoda? Priya is that when by the thought of it one gets happy. That's called Priya. Vritti janitatva. Vritti atmakaha. Priyaha vrityatmakaha. In the form of a thought. So, even you're thinking about a crisp dosa with masala inside, immediately there is a saliva that starts. Mostly for South Indians, I think. Gongura chutney. Then Telugus will get. So, it's we have our own palates for that. So, when the very thought is sufficient, is it not that your body reacts to it? Most of our dreams are only thoughts only, but body reacts to it. So, here, Priya Vritti is a perception in the form of a thought itself. Manovritti. Then comes yesterday also I was explaining this point, Priya Moda Pramoda. So, Moda is proximity of the desired object. Very proximity of the desired object. Like, some place you're going and there is a, Not Rasgulla. No, you're going there and it's a South Indian home that is hosting you. Then they have vada. So you are looking at the vada. Oh, wow. It so happened yesterday I was giving the example and one lady said, yesterday they have vada for or the food lunch today. So you see that vada is kept there. Oh, wow. Very good. So you counted how many vadas are there? 10 vadas are there. You counted the number of people in front of you. There are 12 people. Now, even though they may have stock inside and they replenish it, but then you are doubtful. Well, maybe last final stock. 12 people are there. There are only 10 vadas. What do I do? So you are behind. So you said, hey, how are you? When you went to India, you just moved to the front, making sure that I didn't see you for a long time. So how was your India trip? So you have just made sure 2-3 people are, you bypassed. So it made sure that you get the access to it. So as you're talking, it so happened, you already come to closer to the vada. And one person took 2 in his hand. So the thought of vada is the priyavritti. And when you go closer to it, slowly, the moda vritti starts. But then if you find that two people in front of you and there is only one there, then there is a problem there now. You're still talking to the friend, and he has another friend who's in front of him. So when your friend is the last piece available for your friend to pick it up, when before you pick it up, you turn around, and then what happened, See, that's exactly what I'm saying. You made sure that you put it on your plate. And so I actually want to talk about that. And you take that. So now it's become moda vritti. Now it is yours. It's already in your plate. This is called proximity of the object of desire. Right? So, but these children, they are so active. One child comes from the nowhere, Eat, what are flying on the sky? But you are good in catching the water. Put it back inside and curse that fellow. If it had fallen on the ground, and then the moda vritti, it stopped there. Then you sit down and put the first, that crispy one in your mouth. Pramoda. Pramoda vritti is where you're fully satisfied. Now it is cannot go anywhere. It has become a Advaitam. Aparoksha anubhuti. It has become your own. There's nothing to stop that experience. So these are all taratamyena anandaha bhavati. Taratamyatmakam anandamaya kosha. Because it is not of the same kind. It is having gradation. Anything that has gradation is not nityam. The anandamaya kosha api taratamyatmakam tasmat na nityam chalanatmakam. Also, we know our vasanas also have constantly gone through many changes. What we are finding as a bliss at one point of time in our life is not the same thing in another point of time in life. So, anandamaya kosha api na nityam. Even though he is quoting saying that there is something other than vijnanamaya kosha, your own Upanishad says, asti iti eva upalabdhavya. Anything as asti iti eva upalabdhavya, if you understand from this context, if it is a perceivable as an objectifiable, because according to these Baudikas or Nayayikas, they do not accept anything which is unknown, unseen, imperceptible as a reality. They want logic out of it. But the logic that they say is Anandamaya Kosha is there, and which is supporting the Jnanamaya Kosha, and it is to be obtained as Asti. No doubt Atman is also Asti only, but not in the form of an objectifiable presence. Whereas Nayayikas want it to be an objectifiable presence. That is the reason why they say, Asti Tevapalabdavahiti Vaitika Darshanam iti ahuhu. Whereas Vedantin would say that even Anandamaya Kosha Taratamyatmakam Tatmat Anandamaya Kosha Anityatvat na Atma Bhavati. This is how one needs to be refuted, but that is not given here, that we should understand this. So this way, verse number 77, where Anyontara Atma Anandamaya, even that need not be taken as the ultimate, because ultimate thing must be something which is unchanging. But that is not the case with the Anandamaya Kosha. It is also subject to change. And it is said that in the dawn of the right knowledge, Anandamaya Kosha becomes inactive. It does not have any power over the mind. So, next set of verses are from different schools of thoughts who talk about the vikara of the Atman. See, the swarupa of the Atman. What is the swarupa of the Atman? Parinama of the Atman. What is the parinama means the size of Atma. So the first category of people would say Anumatrameva Atma. Iti. Anumatram. It's like an atomic presence, it's very minute, very subtle. So this is where the discussion starts. Anurmahan madhyamodveti evam tatrabhivadinah bahuda vivadantehi shruti yukti samashrayat Anurmahan madhyamodveti evam tatrabhivadinah bahuda vivadantehi shruti yukti samashrayat. Vadinaha, those who are arguers of this particular, arguments about the size of the Atman, Anuhu, Mahan, Madhyamaha, Vaiti. They will say, some people say Anuhu Atma, or somebody will say Mahan Atma, somebody say Madhyama Atma. A small, huge, medium size. It is like, wearing a t-shirt. What do you want, S, M, or L? Short, medium, or long, or large, right? No, excel. I excel in everything. I cannot stop for L, I have to be excel. So here they keep on considering Atman as a sizable. Because as I said, Vedanta alone accepts imperceptible is Atman, you cannot objectify as a particular form. But others do not, come to comprehend that no, it has to be something which is objectifiable, otherwise it doesn't exist. Anumatram Atma. So, Bahuda Vivadantehi. In fact, they differently, variously, they argue. And interesting thing is, they present Shruti and Yukti also. Shruti Yukti Samashrayat Abhi. Abhi should go there. Tatra Vadinaha Vadanti Vivadante, Vadinaha Vivadante, Vivadam Kurvante, Vivadam Kurvanti or Vivadam Vivadante, say they are arguing about it, all right. But their argument is also showing scriptural authority and yukti, methodology, logic, even though api, meanings, what to say, what to mean by that api, even as they are quoting the Shruti or showing the logic, but they are not doing it in the right way. As we have been seeing, people quote the Shruti out of context and take it out and say, here's where it said. Even those people who are arguing as the size of the Atman, they are also doing it in a wrong way. So that is why it is said that Shruti Yukti Anubhuti Pramanani, even the Shruti Pramana or Yukti or the Anubhuti, all these are all to be understood and correctly to be properly is used only, that is possible only when there is Chitta Shuddhi. Purity of mind is necessary for us to understand in what context, in what way the Shruti is using, Shruti is stating that, and what kind of logic to be used. That is why in sadhana Panchakam also, Bhagavan Krishna Shankaracharya said, Shrutimada Sarkaha Anusandhiyata. Use the tarka used by the Shruti. Nahuvruta Vakyam Samucharyatam, Buddhajanehi Vada Parityajadam, Don't argue with the men of knowledge. Use the logic used by the scriptures, not on your own, even if it is a very powerful argument you put. But if it is against the Shruti, it is not valid. So, what is Chitta Shuddhi? What is the purity of mind that we need? Acceptance of Shruti as the authority and contextually what is used to be used, understood as the Tarka. Don't take out of context or don't use your own argument. So, Naisha Tarkena Madirapaneya. Upanishad says, Tarkena Atmamatihi na apaneya. Do not, by mere your own argument, try to understand Atman. That's not going to work. So, here, even though they are using the Shruti, even though they are using the Yukti, Samashrayatapi, even though they are using Bahuta Vivadante, they argue it differently. So here, this is the point here that one should understand. That's why tradition is important. And traditional teachers alone can clearly show how the Shruti gives the logic and how it is proved. That is an important thing here. And then now he will quote people who are considering Atman as Anu. Now he's in the verse number 79. Anuvadantyantaralah Sukshmanadi pracharatah Romna sahasrabhagena Tulya supracharatyayam Anumvadantyantaralah Sukshmanadi pracharatah Romnah sahasrabhagena Tulyastu pracharatyayam. Antaralaha. Antaralaha means those who have taken, Antara means interior. Antaralaha means, not Andhra Pradesh fellows, but Antaralaha means those who have considered Atman as the innermost presence. Antaralaha means those who have taken the Atman as the innermost presence, and the presence is not symbolic, it is physically present. As an innermost core of a being, person, of any jiva, it is in the innermost presence as a objective presence. And that is the reason why they are able to give the size also. So what they say, Anum Vadanti. It is an atom particle, like an atom. Anu is atom there. So Anum Vadanti Antaralaha, those who are taken the objective aspect of the Atman, considering Atman as an objective presence, a physical presence, they say it is the most subtle thing. Now, what is their authority on this? Why are they talking about it? Now, here you see in Brihadaranya Upanishad, the way it is explained is in a context. The Jivatma, when it is to experience this world, it passes through the nadis. And the nadis are connected to the sense organs. Sense organs are the ones which are perceiving the objects of the world. If it is seeing or smelling, etc., nose is smelling, or eyes are seeing, the sense organs send the message, or through the sense organs, the Chaitanyam or Jivatma present and which is in the getting into the nadi and then touching the sense organs, gets the experience of the external world is called Jagrada Avastha. The waking state is where the consciousness passing through the nadi, touching the indriyas, and thereby coming to experience the world, that is called Jagrada Avastha. In a context that is explained there. And when the same Chaitanyam or Jivatma entering through the nadis but not touching the sense organs is called dream. Because halfway through, it is being overpowered by the vasanas, which are impressions that are there, and that gets into become an experience. So actually, the nadidwarena gachan atma, gachan jaivatma, is not reaching the sandriyas, but on the way itself it stops and it experiences the latent impressions. The very Jivatma, when it is not even entering into the nadis, staying by, before entering it stops, it is called Sushupti. Interesting analysis there in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So the nature of the nadi connected to the sense organs decide the nature of experience. Yesterday also, when I think it's sent to I will also send to others probably. Guruji was talking about Nada Bindu Kalatita. I know how many of you watched that. There he explains this part. So what is this Nada? In the Nada Bindu Kalatita. The Nada, the sound, it is not just a sound. No doubt it is all translated as sound. But the sound need not be something external. So he was explaining about Anahata and Ahata. Ahata sound and Anahata sound. Anyway, so if you watch that, you will understand that also. So nadis are those which are the carriers of information from the sense organs to the experience. So the nadi dwarena gachan atma, jivatma, yada indriyani sprashati, tat samaye jagrada avastham bhavati. That is a jagrada avastha. That's where we are right now. Now, when it is not touching the sense organs, it is sushupta, it is swapna, and when it is not even entering through the nadis, it is called sushupti. So, I was reading that part of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, and then there is a beautiful statement done by Krishnananda of Shivananda Ashram. He had given very beautiful commentary on Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. And then he says there beautifully, because somebody asked him, what is the then difference between Sushupti and Samadhi? Because the Jivatma not entering in the Nadi, if you say that is Sushupti, and I think it is very similar to Samadhi Sthiti, where everything is withdrawn, right? Meaning, withdrawn means not the sense organs are withdrawn, even though that's what we understand, but the Jivatma is not, it is withdrawing from the Nadi itself. That is what is called Sushupti. But it is similar to the state of Samadhi. But he says a beautiful difference between that is unconsciousness of the presence of desire is sleep. Unconsciousness of the presence of desire is sleep. Consciousness of the absence of desire is Samadhi. Unconsciousness of the presence of desire is Sushupti. Consciousness of the absence of desire is Samadhi. You see the difference? Desire is not gone when you are sleeping. You are unconscious of it. Why? The nadi is not touched. Because through the nadi only, all the desire experiences are taking place with the help of the sense organs. Or with the impressions that one has got already before. So in the state of sleep, it is unconsciousness of the presence of the desire, either it is in the form of vasanas or through the sense organs. Samadhi says conscious of the absence of the desires. That is what is called Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta Shuddhi in our context In the Yoga Marga, they say Nadi Shuddhi. And Nadi Shuddhi is they do through as a physical practice, through pranayama. Nadi Shuddhi is also done, yes, it's a very, very vast subject in yoga. So, in the yoga philosophy, Nadi Shuddhi is a major, and some of the Nadi Shuddhis are very intense process. So they do Nadi Shuddhi, through which, when they did do that, then the Jivatma, even though it is operating through the Nadis, trying to touch the sense organs, the experience that they get through the sense organs is no more polluted. It's clean. So that is how they come to have a different kind of experience in the same world where you and I are. Let's come back to this point here. So, Sukshmanadi Pracharataha. Pracharataha meaning it is moving about. Prachalati, Pracharataha. Pracharataha as it is entering and exiting. Entering to experience, exiting to stop the experience. So since the Jivatma is entering into the Nadi, Sukshma Nadi, through which it is going and coming, etc., therefore, Nadi itself is being so small, and what is the size of the Nadi is also going to be given. What is the size of the Nadi? Romnaha Sahasrabhagena Tulyasu. You take a hair, if you have to take a hair, and the tip of the hair you cut into or split into 1,000 parts. That is the size of the nadi. Now tell me, what will be the size of the Atman then? See, you may think, these are all Swamiji's, too much of it. Now if you take a chip, take this watch, okay? Inside there is a chip. Now those who are working in chip software, they will know it. In this chip, you know how much of information is stored? And how do they store it? And what is the size of that storage? You tell me. You can't even say. In the smallest chip, you can put so much of information. It is anumatram. A human being can conceive of putting a storage in a drop of little water. They can put thousands and thousands of information. So if they can come up to that point of microcosmic level of information, it can be stored. Think about then, these thinkers have said, Chaitanya Paramatma is, according to them, Jivatma is size of a tip of a hair which is split into 1,000 parts. Sahasromna Sahasrabhagena Tulyasu. In that kind of such as minute, nadi, pracharati ayam jivatma pracharati, ayam atma anumatra atma pracharati. So this is why the anuvadinaha or antaralaha vadanti anumatrameva atma iti. And they quote from the Upanishad. So here Brihadaranya verse says, Tava astra eta hita nama nadyaha yata keshaha sahasrada binnaha tat vritaha anima tishtanti. This is from the Upanishad. There it says, Tava asya eta hita nama nadyaha. The name of the nadi is called hita. And yatra yata kesha sahasradha. It is split into 1,000 parts. Binna divided. Tatvrata tatvata, that of that kind is anima tishtanti. In that way, in the atomic presence or atomic level, it stays there. This is how Brihadaranyaka Upanishad has spoken about the nature, the size of the Atman in that context. Now they quote the Upanishad also to speak specifically here, especially here from Kata Upanishad. We have read that Kata Upanishad part of it. Anoraniyane Sukshmak Sushmataram Tviti Anutvamahushrudayaha Shatashodasahasrashaha Anoraniyane Sukshma Sushmataram Tviti Anutvamahushrudayaha Shatashodasahasrashaha. In Katopanishad, it is said, Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan Atma Sajanto Nihitam Guhayam. What where there it is said, it is subtler than the subtlest, but that much only they take. Huh? Immediately, what does he say? Mahato Mahiyan. So that's why I said, partially they take, and another part, that's not for us. This one only. Anoraniyan. Then Mahato Mahiyan. That is also said there. And that is not taken into account. Anoraniyan. Eshaha Anuhu Sukshma Sukshmataram iti tu iti. It is more subtler than the subtlemost. Anutvamahu Shrudayaha. So these are saying about the Anutvam, the subtleness of the cell. And Shatashaha Sahasrashaha. Into 100 parts of the nadis or even 1,000 parts of the nadis. This way, also it is said, so, Esho Anuha Atma Chetasa Veditavyaha Yasmin Pranaha Panchada Sambivesha in Mundakopanishad. Eshaha Anuhu Atma Chetasa Veditavyaha. Only the mind can comprehend this nature of this subtlemost Atman. Yasmin pranaha panchada sambivesha, in which the pranas in 5 forms are actively present there. Prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, ityadi. Right. So, and in Kaivalya Upanishad also it says, Anoraniyan ahameva tatvad mahanaham vishwamaham vichitram. So Kaivalya Upanishad said, I am the subtler than the subtlemost. At the same time, I am bigger than the biggest. Anoraniyan ahameva yadvatadvad mahanakam vishwamitam vichitram. So Shatashaha Sahasrashaha. So nadis are either divided into hundreds or divided into 1,000 parts. That how minute, smaller than the smallest, minute to the minute, and then this is how they quote the Upanishads and then prove that Antaralaha Anuhu Atma iti vadanti. Now, so they are further proceeding on to prove that the Shruti Pramana again. Valagrashadabhagasya Shatata kalpitasya cha Bhago jivassa vigneyaha Iti chaha pura shrutihi Balagrashadabhagasya Shatata kalpitasya cha Bhago jivassa vigneyaha Iti chaha parashrutihi. Aparashrutihi, other Shrutis also have spoken about it in Shvetashvara Upanishad. Bala agrata bhagasya, agrashada bhagasya. Bala means hair. Hair again, kesha. Agra, tip. Agrata, agrashata. 100 points, 100 splits of the hair. Shatabhagasya. Further 100 of that. So you make the hair tip, split into 100, and take that one of the 100 and split that into 100. Shadasha kalpidasya cha bhagaha jiva. That is the size of the jiva. Savigneyaha iti cha aha aha aparashruti. So aparashruti means Shredashra Upanishad, etc. Other Shrutis also talk about jiva as of that size. This way they quote and prove that Atma anumatrameva. So then, yeah, we have always, there is a Purvapakshi, right? The Purvapakshi has to be there to disprove what he says. So you are saying Atman is, what is the time right now? Oh, okay. So Atman is of the size of a Anu, a small atom particle. Now, the argument is, I'll tell you, it is not possible. Why? So here, the verse number 82. Digambara madhyavatvam ahurapadamastakam chaitanya vyapti samtrishtaha anakegrashruterapi आनकेग्रश्रुतेरपि आनकाग्रश्रुतेर. Okay. Put together. Digambara madhyamatvam ahurapadamastakam chaitanya vyapti shritehe chaitanya vyapti sandrishtehe anakagrashruterapi. Anakagra. Okay. Anakagra. All right. There is a set of people who are known as Digambaras, otherwise known as Jains. Jaina Mata is also very prominently present at the time of when Buddhism was also present. Those who are worshippers of Mahavira, they have the tradition. They are called Digambaras. Digambaraha, they are madhyamatvam ahuhu. Atmanaha madhyamatvam. They say it is not too small, like an atom particle, you are saying. Not that they is a mighty huge. It's not akhanda, because that is, Vedanta would say there is no limit. Limitless is the size of the Atman. No. Madhyamatvam ahuhu. Medium size. So what medium size? It depends upon which medium it operates from. Right? So Madhyamatvam ahuhu. And what is the size of the Atman then? Apadamastakam. Because it is the size of from head up to the toe, up to the feet of a person. Why? How do you prove that? Why is that you're saying? Because Chaitanya Vyapti Samdrishtehe. Because the so-called consciousness we are talking about is available for us to experience from the top of the head up to the feet, right? When you are walking or you're sitting, somebody touches even the one little pinky finger, the tip of it. Hey, what are you doing? So where is it? Where is it? Apadamastakam. Vyaptam drishte. It is seen from the top of the head until the tip of your toes. Apadamastakam Chaitanya Vyapti Samdrishte Anakegra Shruti. In the Shruti also it is said Anaka Agre. It is available even the tip of the nail also. Anaka A means up to. Naka Agra. Naka Agra. Agra means a tip. So Anaka Agra Shruti. It is said there, it is available up to the tip of the nail. Again, Pragadaranya Upanishad is what is said. What is that? Etasmad Akash. No, not that. Is it? Sa esha iha pradishta anakagrebhyah yata kshurah kshuradhani abahitah syat. The Pragadani Upanishad says, the like that of the sword. Sword is going into the sheath, right? And what is the size of the sword? It will be according, or the other way around, actually, according to the sword will be the sheath of the sword sheath also, the holder. In the same way, the Atman is of the size of the person. I'm not joking. That is their theory. Seriously. Seriously, that is their theory. What is the size of Atman? The size of the body.
It varies according to different sizes.
Yeah. So that's a bit, that we'll come to that later. So size of the body. If you are a fat person, you are a fat Atman. I mean, I cannot help it. That's what it is, If you are a thin person, you are a thin Atman. Because it is from the top of the head to the body. See, that is the reason why they practice this ahimsa, because they are extremely physically. Think about it, because if there is an ant there, the Atman is of the size of the ant there. So I cannot afford to, and even the small little things which are there in the atmospherical. That's why they close their mouth also. Now everybody does not know that what can everybody became Jain. COVID made sure that Jainism is followed by everybody. So you can't even. So that's why they have the strict discipline of even when you are shaving and all, they can't do it. They won't even shave the body, shave the hair, etc. Because then you are killing some of the things who are sitting there. So what they do to keep them, they plug the hair. I don't know. Shankaracharya would have, if he would have made a comment on that. I think Shankaracharya at that time, obviously, he had met with a lot of the Jain Munis also to argue with them. But here, obviously, that is their theory. So, Chaitanya Vyaptitvam Drishtahe is seen Anaka Agra Shruterapi. So, it is said in the Pragadanya Upanishad also that Sa Esha Iha Pradishtaha Anakara Agrebhyaha Yata Kshuraha, just like the sword, Kshuradani Avahitaha Syat. How it is placed inside a Kshuradana, which is the holder of the sword. In the same way. So that is their argument. That is to say that it is of the size of the body of the person. So, now it is the point is, when a person, they also believe in karma theory. The Jains also believe in karma, meaning rebirth. Rebirth is there in their theory also. Now their question is, let us say a person dies. Which size of the Atman is that? Human size. When then the next birth he becomes an ant. What size of the Atman will get into the ant? It can't enter. Can it? Maybe the Atman is of that size. How will it enter into this ant body? When that kind of an argument comes, there is an answer for that also. So that is said here. Sukshmanadi pracharastu Sukshmairavayamai Sukshmairavayavai bhavet Sthuladehastahastabhyam Kanchuka pradimogavat pradimogavat Kanchuka pradimogavat Sukshmanadi pracharastu Sukshamaiv Sthuladehasya hastabhyam Kanchuka pradimogavat. So, if it is such a size of a person, what happens when it has to enter into a smaller point, smaller body? Sukshmanadi pracharaha tu Sukshma avayavaihi Sukshmaihi avayavaihi bhavet. So here it is a point is put here by the argument which is against this Jains, that what happens if that size changes then to the next body. So here it is said that, let me read from what notes I have written here, that if the jiva is the size of Madhyama, but through the nadi the experiences happen, how does it enter the nadi? That's first argument before we go into the next one. If the experience is taking place when the nadi is in touch with the sense organ, that is explained in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. According to Jains, that it is not of the size of an atom, it is Madhyama. If it is Madhyama and you still hold the Shruti Vakya that experience takes place only through the nadi touching the sense organs, how such a big size of the Atman get into the nadi? That's the first thing before we go into how it goes into the next birth, etc. So they have an answer for that. There's a question that is first line is that Sukshma Nadi Pracharaha tu Sukshma Sukshmaya Havayevaihi Bhavet. Meaning Sukshma Nadi Pracharaha Atma, that self which is supposedly be engaging in entering and getting out of nadis, which are very subtle as we saw, it is the size of a 1,000 or 10, what, 100 into 100. 10,000 is a part of the air. So, and how does it? Sukshmaihi avayave bhave stula dehastya hastabhyam. So he gives the example. I mean, the answer to that is, if the question is raised that how does it enter into the nadi, it is like a person wearing a coat or a shirt. How do you wear a shirt? You have a hole, right? Both the hands, and into which you put your hand, right? And then wear it. In the same way, they have the entering into the nadi is through certain apertures, through which only it enters. So very funny, you know? So he says, and enters into the finest capillarities. Sukshmaihi avayavaihi pracharaha tu bhave stula dehasya, of the physical body of a person which is gross, kanchuka pradimogavat swastabhyam kanchuka pradimogavat. Pratimoga means pratimochana means to enter. So entering into the physical shirt or the physical body into a shirt or a coat, how does it enter? Through the capillary. The whole is the capillary here. In the same way, the Atman of the Madhyama thing enters into through the capillaries of the nadis. This is the example that is given. The objection is, if it is at middle size, how can it enter into the veins? Pervasion, according to them, is like the body being covered by a coat simply by arm being thrust into the sleeves. So this is how they explain that Madhyama Parinama of the Atman also can enter into the nadis through the apertures. So this is how they explain. Now comes the next argument, which we were supposed to take, how it is that a particular size of the Atman can enter into another form which is either small or big. Let us say that, dinosaur. So the human size Atman, how will it enter into a dinosaur? Then how will it reach to the other end? It has to run. Where is the hand? Go there. Where is the head? Go there. See, I think Vedantin will have a laughter of this. What are you people are up to? Why are you people holding on to your own? See, this is what Bhagavan Krishna says, holding on to one fanatical idea, and then holding on to that and then proving all others are wrong. This is tamasa pravritti. Okay, in the next class we'll see that. I think Shankaracharya might have had a hearty laugh of these people. Jains, and that's why they could not stay too long. They're very segmented, small, because their arguments are not appealing to the intelligence of the later, generations. It's not possible to hold on to such fanatic view which does not allow ground for any other, thinking possibilities. They will not be able to hold the water for too long. But there are people, any philosophy, there are followers are available for you. So any kind of new roadside Romeos are also there, so many of them. They create their own traditions, they create their own. Those who are not even there in the tradition, nowhere mentioned, they create temples of them and this and that. So did I tell you about that? Recently somebody created temple on AI. They created a temple for AI. And the temple deity is AI Appa. It's called Ayyappa. That is my addition to that story. It's not true. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkhaman Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.